everyone, it's Natasha Boluifa from PenPadPurpose.com with the next installment in this month's SyncUp series, Righteous Rebellion. Now, the title of today's segment is Biting the Hand That Feeds You. For the next few minutes, we're going to be syncing up with God about the righteous rebellion of Moses. Our text for today is Exodus chapter 2, verses 1 through 12. Now, I know for some of you, the moment you heard the name Moses, you immediately heard Charlton Heston in that movie that comes on every Easter saying, "Let my people go." And that's right, it's the same Moses. He was chosen by God to deliver a righteously rebellious message to Pharaoh, king of Egypt, demanding that he release all 2 million Israelites who were being held as slave labor in Egypt. Now, it's an incredible story of righteous rebellion leading to justice, deliverance, and freedom. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about something that happens way before then, way before the burning bush, the 10 plagues, the parting of the Red Sea. But before we get into it, I have to tell you a little bit about Moses' childhood. So there's this Levite guy named Amram who falls in love and marries a Levite woman named Jochebed. They settle down, they have a couple of kids, and their last kid, the baby of the family, is Moses, a beautiful little Hebrew baby boy, which was unfortunate. Not that there was anything wrong with being born a little Hebrew baby boy in and of itself, but it was during a time in history where people were fiercely intent on killing little Hebrew baby boys. Just before Moses is born, Pharaoh had commanded the midwives to kill the little Hebrew baby boys as they were coming out of the womb. Fortunately, the midwives righteously rebelled and they didn't do it. But then Pharaoh commands all people to throw little Hebrew baby boys into the river after they were born so they could drown. Like I said, not a good time to be a little Hebrew baby boy. Anyway, Moses' parents hide him for the first 3 months of his life, which is a miracle in and of itself. I mean, 3-month-olds cry a lot. But anyway, when they couldn't hide him any longer, Jochebed, Moses' mother, finally gives in and does exactly what Pharaoh commanded her to do. She throws her little Hebrew baby boy into the river in a waterproof padded basket. You see, guys, sometimes righteously rebelling means doing exactly what your oppressor tells you to do, just on God's terms. Anyway, little Hebrew baby boy Moses is floating on the river and is discovered by Pharaoh's daughter. Now, many scholars believe this is young Hatshepsut, the only woman to actually be Pharaoh. This was in the 18th dynasty, around the 15th century BC. Now, it's a fascinating woman, cool story. Look it up when you have a chance. But anyway, she finds Moses in the basket and decides to adopt him, fully aware that he's a little Hebrew baby boy. More rebellion. Anyway, Miriam, Moses' sister, who was nearby, offers to find a Hebrew woman to nurse Moses, Jochebed, his own mother. Hatshepsut agrees, and Moses winds up going back to his own family to be weaned. Now, there's some debate as to how long the weaning process really was. Some people think it was up to 2 years. It could have been as much as 7 years old. Yeah, I know. Let's not go there. But anyway, the point is Moses is weaned, and when he goes off to live with his adopted Egyptian mother at the palace. She's actually the one who names him Moses. Anyway, Moses grows up, and that's where we pick up in Exodus 2, verses 11 through 12, which I'm going to read for you right now. One day when Moses had grown up, he went out to his people and looked on their burdens, and he saw an Egyptian beating a Hebrew, one of his people. He looked this way and that, and seeing no one, he struck down the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. There's so much in these 2 small verses. First, growing up by ancient standards meant like 40 years old, which means if Moses wasn't weaned until he was 7 years old, he had lived as a prince of Egypt for 33 years at this point. Now that's 33 years of royal food, royal clothing, 33 years of royal education and royal opportunities, 33 years of royal advantages and privileges, all paid and provided by his Egyptian adopted family. Second, Moses knew he was not Egyptian. He self-identifies as a Hebrew in the verse. He went out to his people. Anyway, during this 33 years, Moses spent his life in the lap of luxury while seeing his people basically living in the pit of degradation. And for 33 years, as far as we can tell from the Bible, he didn't do anything about it. Third, Moses reaches a point where he can't take it anymore. He sees the burdens of his people. He witnesses an Egyptian beating another Hebrew, and Moses kills the Egyptian to stop him. Quick disclaimer, very important. Natasha Beluifa and PimpAtPurpose.com neither condone nor advocate violence in any form. Okay, let's resume. What Moses did was a very incredible and very misapplied form of righteous rebellion. Here's what I mean. It's one thing to rebel against an oppressive, ungodly force that's been oppressing you for years. It's another thing to rebel against an oppressive, ungodly force that's been personally very, very good to you. Egypt had given Moses everything he had in the world. I mean, by human standards, they gave him a very good life. But something in Moses caused him to see the truth, that the good life is no good at all if it comes at the cost of the lives and dignity of other people. It's unrighteous and it's unjust. And Moses knew he needed to stop it, even if it meant biting the hand that fed him and fed him well for 33 years. Now, Moses' anger over what he was witnessing was just, but his action about it was not. And that action ultimately led him to be on the run, fleeing his palace, his home, and having to go live in the wilderness. Now, in that wilderness, he does encounter God, who shows him how to rebel the right way, how to let anger over injustice drive us into action rather than just acting angry. I'll end with this week's words for sinking. Recognizing that the unjust treatment of others is wrong is right. But being used by God to do something about it is righteous. Now, take some time during the rest of your day and reflect on the Sink a Little Deeper questions below this video. And don't be shy, be heard. Share your thoughts by posting a comment. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Until our next time together, remember, do justice, love mercy, and walk humbly. Bye for now, everyone.